Well, speaking of Marvel, though, I want to talk a little bit more about another Marvel character that says he's coming back, and that's Thomas Haden Church as Sandman. So he's coming out in an interview recently because, he was in No Way Home. So after that interview, after that movie came out, he's been interviewed with Pilot Productions for. He was talking about Spider-Man 3. He was talking about No Way Home, and he said that Sandman is not done yet. Well, he said that him and John Watts had a conversation. Amy Pascal was there, Kevin Feige, and they said they had conversations that have been about the possibility of Sandman coming into a future iteration of it. And the conversation happened about him coming back, maybe picking up a more fulfilling story with Flint and being not just Sandman, but returning to human form because there was a lot of story there they didn't get to touch upon. And there's a reason that he couldn't become the regular face Sandman during No Way Home, he was saying, and that's because there's more they're going to do later on with that. And I guess through his conversations, he was saying that, Feige and all them said they want him to be Sandman some more. Now, this is an actor saying something and, being like, oh, yeah, I'm going to do this again without any official notification, anything like that. There's no official headline news, no statement from Marvel. But the fact they had this conversation with him makes me wonder if maybe they're going to be like, well, we want to use Sandman again, so we probably want to kid him because he's our Sandman. They had him in No Way Home. You're making him canon. So it makes me think that it's just one of those things. For me personally, I just think they told him this because they're like, if we have Sandman again, we're going to have you, But will we actually have more Sandman? I don't know. Sean, what do you think? Do you think this is something they're legit thinking about and planning on? Do you think they have an idea, a storyline? Or do you think this is just like shit hitting a wall and they're like, hey, just in case, we need you?
I want to make a bold claim here, and I want this to be shown and shoved in my face when I'm wrong. But okay. I think there's a better chance that Wings has a comeback than we see Sandman in an MCU property at this point. God bless him. They didn't even have him in the movie. It was all done CG.
I know.
And they even used footage from Spider-Man 3.
It's true.
Just such a weird thing, to think, oh man, yeah, Sandman. Hey, if Bad Bunny can be El Diablo, I guess Sandman can also have his own movie. I don't know. It's hard to say. More power to him. I don't think Sideways 2 is coming out anytime soon either. But Thomas Haden Church, if he's got to start the rumor mill going, this is a good way to do it.
It's true. Maybe he just wants to get hired. Yeah. Rachel's saying in the chat we're a house divided tonight. We might be a little house divided, and she's Team Marvel. But I think, yeah, maybe it's just a way of him stirring the water. Putting it out there. Because honestly, what kind of plans would they have for Sandman? I like the Wings thing. I could see a Wing. You know what, Sean? You're putting it out there. A Wings reboot's probably coming.
Yeah, be careful. That's going to happen now.
We'll be talking about it on Wednesday or something. Yeah, right. It'll be happening.
They brought back
Wings.
Night Court. They brought back Night Court.
It's
Who
true.
would think they'd bring back Night Court? I didn't think that show would ever come back.
Lexi, what do you think? You think that there's a better chance for Wings than for him to be Sandman, or what?
At this point, I do. He put it out in the air. Now it's all going to happen. I thought he was an excellent casting for Sandman. He looks just like the character, especially when you look at the old comics, like the old school, 80s and 70s Spider-Man comics. He looks just like the character. But I don't know. If he wants to come back, he can come back, I guess. I didn't know it was CG in the movie, so it was news to me.
Isn't that wild?
All legitimate to me when you initially showed me the story. I was like, all right, I guess. But then with what you just said, Sean just said, I'm like, okay, well, I guess not.
Yeah, I know. It honestly, I'm kind of leaning towards that too, Sean. It's like, how do you? I don't know. I liked him as Sandman. I did. And the CG thing, Lexi, was crazy. They use literally that. There's that one moment. If you haven't seen No Way Home out there, sorry about this spoiler. Okay, but for people that haven't seen it, spoiler alert. At the very end, when they're all switching back, it's like that was that one shot they didn't use from Spider-Man 3 was when they saw his face was the one they actually went to the archive footage and pulled that and didn't have him come in. They just had him do voiceover for the whole thing. But he was telling. I'm wondering though, because he said in there it was a reason why you didn't really see him, and I'm like, is that something they told him because they're like, oh yeah, we're gonna bring it back. Use his voiceover right now, man. It's good. We'll bring it for something else, or is there any? I don't know if there's any truth to it. I really don't know. It's like, what's he gonna be in Spider-Man 4 with Tom Holland? I don't know. I don't see it happening. I don't see it happening.
We could be wrong. We could be eating a bunch of humble pie later. Who knows?
We could be.
Of everyone I would want to come back, Sandman is not top of the list.
Willem Dafoe, and he said he'd do that shit in a heartbeat too, as long as he can do his stunts again. And
Let
I'm
him
like,
be a Joker. Let him be Green Goblin. Come on.
yeah. He said in an interview recently, though, because, during No Way Home, the only reason he did it was because he had a substantial part and he could do his own stunts. That's what he told him. That's the only way I'll do it, which is a badass for that man, And so he said the same thing again. He's like, I'll come back to them and do that again all day. I love that character. That's the guy who needs to come back. Flying and shit, throwing those bombs. Come on. That's a good villain.